Since his debut in Sonic the Hedgehog, 2006, Silver the Hedgehog has captured a legion of fans with his intriguing backstory and impressive powers. Coming from a dystopian future, he stands as one of the most powerful characters in the franchise. But just how strong is Silver, really? Let's find out. Well, before we start, I have a little message for you. If you sign up now, I promise that Silver won't go back in time to force you. But hey, help us reach 1,000 subscribers, okay? Origins and motivation: the time traveler. Silver the Hedgehog made his debut in the infamous Sonic the Hedgehog, 2006, a game surrounded by criticism, but one that introduced one of the franchise's most intriguing characters. Unlike Sonic and Shadow, Silver doesn't come from the present, he hails from a post-apocalyptic future. His world was reduced to ruins by a catastrophic threat, and his only hope was to travel back in time to prevent the tragedy from ever happening. From the moment he steps into the past, Silver shows that he's driven by a strong sense of justice. He believes any sacrifice is worth it to stop the destruction of his timeline. However, this idealism also makes him naive and easy to manipulate, something Mephiles takes advantage of, tricking Silver into believing that Sonic is the one responsible for the disaster. Throughout his journey, Silver faces deep internal conflicts. Is it really worth altering the past at any cost? He learns the hard way that things aren't always so simple, realizing that blindly trusting others can be a fatal mistake. But at the same time, this experience helps him mature, becoming a wiser and more strategic hero. Even after the events of Sonic 2006, Silver continues to appear in several games, always connected to time travel plots and alternate realities. He keeps trying to find the best way to save the future without causing irreversible timeline collapses, which makes his presence in the Sonic universe one of the most complex and fascinating. Powers and abilities: the master of telekinesis. What makes Silver truly unique in the franchise is his absolute mastery of telekinesis. While Sonic relies on his speed and Shadow draws power from chaos manipulation, Silver fights without even touching his enemies. His psychic powers allow him to control objects, levitate opponents, and even reshape the battlefield to his advantage. Ultimate telekinesis. Silver's telekinesis goes far beyond simply lifting objects. In the games, he can levitate projectiles in midair and redirect them at enemies, create psychic barriers to protect himself from attacks, lift enemies high into the air and hurl them with incredible force, manipulate large parts of the environment to use as weapons. His powers are so advanced that he can temporarily stop time, immobilizing everything around him for a few seconds. This ability puts him on a whole different level within the franchise, as very few characters have this much control over their surroundings. Battle strategy. Silver isn't just powerful, he's also strategic. Unlike Sonic, who prefers fast and direct combat, or Shadow, who mixes speed with raw power, Silver uses his mind to win. He analyzes the battlefield, manipulates the environment around him, and waits for the perfect moment to strike. This makes him a formidable opponent, especially against enemies who rely on speed. But there is one weakness: if Silver gets hit before he can activate his telekinesis, he becomes vulnerable. That means, when facing extremely fast opponents, he has to predict their moves in advance to avoid being caught off guard. Silver versus other hedgehogs. Who's the strongest? Silver has gone up against some of the biggest icons in the Sonic franchise, and his battles always raise the same question: could he actually defeat Sonic and Shadow? Let's break down the comparisons. Silver versus Sonic. Sonic is known for his insane speed, breaking the sound barrier and, in some versions, even manipulating time itself. However, Silver has a major advantage: he can stop Sonic mid-air before he even attacks. If he's able to predict the blue blur's movements, Silver can keep him suspended and unable to fight back. On the flip side, if Sonic manages to close the distance quickly, Silver might be in trouble. And if Sonic taps into his supersonic form, he becomes nearly unstoppable for Silver. Silver versus Shadow. Shadow is an even tougher challenge. Not only does he have speed comparable to Sonic, But he can also use chaos control, allowing him to manipulate space and time. If Silver tries to trap him with telekinesis, Shadow could simply teleport out of it. A fight between the two would heavily depend on the environment. In an open battlefield, Shadow would likely have the edge. But if Silver can manipulate the terrain and limit Shadow's movement, the tide could turn in his favor. Silver versus Super Sonic. Now here, the balance shifts completely. Super Sonic is virtually invincible, with unmatched speed and strength. Even if Silver tries to stop him with telekinesis, Super Sonic could break free through sheer brute force. This is one battle where Silver would almost certainly fall short. Super Silver, a divine form. Just like Sonic and Shadow, Silver can also access a supreme transformation using the power of the Chaos Emeralds, Super Silver. Although rarely explored in the franchise, this form is one of the most powerful in the entire Sonic universe. When transformed, Super Silver gains superhuman speed, rivaling Sonic and Shadow. Amplified telekinetic strength, allowing him to manipulate objects and enemies with even greater ease. Immunity to conventional attacks, making him nearly invincible. The ability to fly, eliminating his biggest weakness against fast opponents. Super Silver's most iconic appearance was in Sonic 2006, when he joined forces with Super Sonic and Super Shadow to defeat Solaris, a cosmic entity capable of manipulating time and space. In that battle, Silver demonstrated complete control over his telekinesis, proving he could go toe-to-toe with a reality-warping threat. Despite Super Silver's immense potential, Sega has rarely showcased this form in the games. If he returned in a new mainline title, he could finally unleash his full power and possibly rival Super Sonic in an epic showdown. Notable appearances. In addition to his debut in Sonic the Hedgehog, 2006, Silver has appeared in several other games, including Sonic Rivals, 2006, and Sonic Rivals 2, 2007. Sonic Generations, 2011. Sonic Forces, 2017. Spin-off games like Team Sonic Racing, 2019. In the Archie and IDW comic series, Silver has had more in-depth storylines, where he further explores his potential and his mission to save the future. Fun facts. Silver was almost an orange hedgehog during the development of Sonic 2006. His design and concept are heavily reminiscent of Trunks from Dragon Ball, although this has never been officially confirmed by Sega. In Sonic the Fighters, he has a special move called Psycho Smash. Silver the Hedgehog is one of the most interesting and powerful characters in the Sonic franchise. His combination of psychic abilities and his quest to save the future make him truly one of a kind. But is he the strongest? That's still up for debate. What do you think? Can Silver surpass Sonic and Shadow? Let us know your thoughts in the comments.